1590 WFBR Glen Burnie, Baltimore. Views expressed on the following program do not necessarily reflect those of the Way Broadcasting Corporation or the staff and management of WFBR.
Welcome to Shop Talk with Cassandra Renee. With me is my co-host, Kevin Eaton.
Good morning, everyone.
Hey, Kev.
Hey, Cuzzo. How you doing today?
Good.
That's good.
You know, we have Tiara with us. Hi, Tiara.
Hey, Cassandra. Hey, Kevin. How are you?
We're doing good. How you doing?
Good.
Excellent.
Woo, are y'all ready for today's show?
Where's Jimmy?
You know, I don't know where Jimmy is. I sent Jimmy a text. He don't want me to come out there and get him because I will drive to Virginia, okay? He don't know me. Oh, yeah, he does know me, so he better.
I was about to say, Cassandra, you going to get lost.
That's all right. That's what navigation for, baby. That's what navigation is for. For those of you who may wonder, what are they going to talk about today? We just never know what direction they're coming from. Well, we're going to tackle a few topics. We're going to talk about the Democratic debate that took place this past week. I was highly entertained. I mean, I'm not usually into politics like that, but I was actually sitting there watching CNN from beginning to end because I believe it started at 8:30 and ended at 11:30 or something like that. I mean, I sat there and was just glued to the TV. I enjoyed it so much that I watched the rerun last night on CNN. So I am just having a ball. So we're going to talk about the Democratic debate. We're also going to pose the question, if offered $1 million for a romantic week with an individual, would you accept it? Yes or no? There are some individuals who contacted me via text. Some people contacted me via Facebook with their answers. And I tell you, they were all over the board. Also, Playboy will no longer have nude layouts, because there's competition now, because the internet is making so many things easily accessible. It's kind of watering down their brand a little bit. So now they're going to move to a more of a PG-13 type format. Also, those of you may have heard about Mr. Lamar Odom, who is married to Khloe Kardashian. He was found in a Las Vegas brothel. And my understanding is he is doing a lot better now, which is awesome. So our prayers go out to him and to his family. And with that in mind, I pose the question, should estranged spouses be allowed to make life and death decisions in certain situations? So these are going to be our topics for today. And for those of you who may want to text your questions or comments or whatever, please feel free to do that. Other than that, just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. I believe we may have Jimmy on the line now, right? Hey, Jimmy.
Good morning. How you doing?
Jimmy.
Hey, Jimmy.
Jimmy, come lately. What's up? Why you late, man? Jimmy, come lately.
Yeah, I know.
You said, oh, yeah, you know, huh? So you ready? Y'all ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Ready to get this thing started?
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, because let's see, what should we start? Jimmy, since you're the last one who chimed in, I'm going to put you on the spot. Which topic should we tackle first?
Well, let's talk about the indecent proposal.
Ooh, now I know where your mind is. That's probably what you were doing. That's probably why you were late calling into the show, Jimmy. Okay, let's talk about the indecent proposal. Because again, I posed this question on Facebook and also on Instagram, and the responses were, oh my goodness, they were all over the board. So Jimmy, since you brought this up, I'll start with you. So if someone approached you, a billionaire, and said, hey, Jimmy, I will pay you $1 million to spend a romantic week with me, what would you do? I feel like I'm in and out.
Yeah, I think if I was married, I wouldn't do it.
Okay.
But not married, I think I would go for it.
He said, I would go for it.
Yeah, I would definitely do it.
Okay, so you wouldn't even approach your wife with it?
Well, I'm saying if I was married, I would not do it.
I mean, I hear what you're saying. Yeah. Because I think about the movie Indecent Proposal, and I think that's with Demi Moore and Robert Redford, and she actually approached her spouse about it. So you wouldn't even bring it up at all. It would just be a no-brainer. If you're married, you wouldn't even consider it. You wouldn't even approach your wife with it at all.
No, I wouldn't. Because the one thing, if you think about it, you're actually putting a price on your marriage. So there's a strong possibility it will have an effect on your marriage. Because if you disappear for a week, you got to explain that. And just the fact that you disappeared for a week, when you do return to your wife, things are not going to be the same. Very, very similar to what happened in the movie.
Okay.
Once she did it, their marriage was forever changed.
True. But then you think about, I'm going to have to go back, rewind. Remember the two shows, the one show and then the follow-up show regarding open marriage that we had, where our guest Renee, she and her husband, actually had an open marriage for years. And it strengthened their marriage, actually. Remember that, Jimmy?
Yeah, I remember that. But
Jimmy, are you there?
I think that's a very unique situation. And basically, both of them was in agreement. Mm-hmm. At the same time, they had so many rules in place that pretty much prevented anything from going too far. Because one of the things that she said that was so important, once that person acted though they fell in love with her, that she had to leave them.
Mm-hmm. That was one of the rules.
So that's one thing right there. I guess it will strengthen the marriage. Because if this happened, you got to do what you got to do.
So do you feel that it's doable then? If the couple has rules set up, and like what she did, they actually had it in writing, and both of them signed in blood and all that stuff. So do you think that that's something that's doable, where one or the other could actually go away for a week and have a romantic interlude with someone and then come back $1 million richer?
No, I still don't think in a marriage, especially with an extended week, a whole week, it can't happen.
Okay.
If you think about it, what she did that was different. It was only for one weekend, once a month, and at the same time, her husband had the opportunity to go out himself because they pretty much went out on the same weekend.
Absolutely. And if one or the other couldn't, then they just pretty much shut it down, and neither one of them went out.
Yeah.
So that's how they had it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm kind of anxious to hear from Tiara. Then I'm going to go to Kevin because Kevin's sitting here grinning hard. Okay,
I
Tiara.
know Kevin grinning hard.
Oh, he grinning hard.
Yeah. Let's do it. I already know Kevin answer. Kevin, is that your answer? Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
So don't bring him in. Once you bring him in, it's gonna be hard to get him out. So, what's your opinion on this, Tiara?
Okay, so for me, the answer is no.
Absolutely not.
Even if I was single, I would have to say the answer is no. The reason being is that you don't know, so with the open marriage conversation, since we brought that up, there were all these different stipulations that were in place. Like you said, they had a contract. You don't know what you're getting into. Mm-hmm. You could go out there for this week, and they expose you to all types of things. And this is all depending on getting that $1 million. Like, okay, well, I want to take you to this sex bar. I want to take you here. You don't know what you're signing up for. You don't know what that person's image of a romantic week is. In your mind, it may be sitting on the beach and maybe engaging in some sexual activities. That may be your mindset. It may be completely different for this person. No, you're not going to get me like that.
But what if it's reduced to writing, though? Because I can't remember. It's been a while since I saw the movie Indecent Proposal. But what if the two actually have a conversation and a contract is drawn up where it's the stipulations and everything is clear what the expectations are for that week?
I don't know. I just don't trust people. And, what if they have some type of disease? What if they have an STD? What if they have HIV and AIDS and they don't disclose that either? Mm-hmm. It's for me, it would have to be a whole bunch of things checked off. And I agree with Jimmy. Married? Absolutely not. If I was single and all those things were checked off, then yeah. But by the time I get all that information back, they be the passed on to the other girl.
They wait a minute, she asking for too much. It's too much negotiations. But you know how sometimes when it's harder to get a person, the more you want them, though. You know how that goes. But that's just, but I think that's true. Like with any new person that you meet, there's a risk of some sort of sexually transmitted disease, though. I mean, you can test. I mean, just like with the HIV, I thought was really interesting. A person can test negative and still be positive because they're still within that range.
latent phase.
You know,
latent stage.
exactly, because it could take up to 6 months from the time of infection to find out for sure whether that person is HIV, positive or negative. So because there is a such thing as, false positives and false negatives. So that still could be the case with any new person that you meet. You can run the risk of, sexually transmitted diseases. And,
and I have to imagine that if they're paying $1 million to spend a week with me, condoms are pretty much out of the conversation. So I just want to be sure of what I would be getting into. So the answer for me is surprisingly the same as Jimmy's. If I'm married, no.
So why is that surprising?
Because, me and Jimmy don't always agree on everything.
No, it's you and Kevin. The two of you go toe-to-toe. My God. I
Well,
thought the
wait a
two of
minute.
you were going to
Kevin's
fight
is
last
different
week.
because Kevin don't believe in premarital counselor, so that's a whole different conversation.
He absolutely doesn't believe. And, we've been working on Kevin, and he still doesn't believe in it. So, since we're talking about Kevin, let's bring him in on the conversation. Kevin, what if a woman offered you $1 million to spend a romantic? I already know the answer. I don't even know why.
Wait a minute.
No, it's right. We can go to the next
Do
episode
looks
on that
play a
one.
part in it? Looks play a part in it?
What did you say, Tiara?
Do looks play a part in it, too?
But you know what? We can divide it out if we so choose, maybe in a couple of minutes. But let's just ask start with the general question. Because you know what? I actually posed that to someone on Facebook. I said, well, what if the person looks like Idris Elba and Michael Ealy? I just kind of, but we can do that a little bit later. But let's go on to Kevin. What if a woman offered you $1 million to spend a romantic week with her? What would you do?
Well, one thing Jimmy was talking about, when you go away a week and you come back with $1 million, and what would you say to your wife? First thing, if I come back with $1 million, I ain't got to say nothing. Ain't nothing. There's nothing, no conversation at all, period. I come back with $1 million, and we ain't got to say nothing.
So you're just going to say, baby, I got $1 million.
Hey, well, I'll probably tell her before I leave.
You tell her, I'm going to go get $1 million.
Go shopping for a house, okay? Tiara said she didn't know what she would be getting into. I know I'd be getting into a brand new Porsche. That's what I be getting into. I already got it figured out. So, I'm 52 years old, cuz I thought I was gonna be a millionaire by now, and I ain't. You know what I'm saying? So, if somebody offered me a romantic week, I had to just, hey, look, baby, honey, Wheezy, whatever the wife name. I'm gonna take this little vacation.
Oh,
when I come
without
back,
you.
that's a stipulation. I got to do what I got to do, make this $1 million. Come on now.
Okay, so you wouldn't be transparent with her. You wouldn't say,
No,
hey, you know what, I
up.
had this indecent proposal.
It's very indecent, and it's $1 million. Go shopping. If you don't like it, don't go shopping. I'm going shopping.
But either way, I'm going.
It's a done deal.
Oh, my goodness. So, Kevin, okay, so at least you would be transparent with her and say, hey, you know what, I've been given this proposal, $1 million. $1 million. Whether you like it or not, I'm going. Because I've always wanted to be a millionaire. This is my opportunity.
That's right. Last month we couldn't make rent, okay? Now next month we're going to be in a mansion. Come on, man.
Oh,
I'm going to buy you a Bentley, too? Come on.
But can you imagine, though, what that may do to her for that week, though? That whole week that you're gone, she's home alone, agonizing, wondering who you're with, what you're doing. Oh, my goodness. I mean.
She may not be home alone. She might be doing her own indecent proposal with no money.
Didn't, Tiara. No, you did not say that.
With the broke dude.
With the broke dude?
Yeah.
Why is it people choose broke? Why do they do that?
No.
Upgrade. You're supposed to upgrade,
80-20. They might have that 20%.
All right, Miss Janet Jackson.
What Kevin got to realize is that one thing women can't do, women cannot pocket their emotions. Nope. So even though you come back with $1 million,
you sound like T.I. You know that.
You're going to be dealing with $1 million worth of problems.
Well,
so what do you mean women can't control their emotions? I mean,
I said pocket their emotions.
Okay, pocket their emotions. Can't control whatever. But still, I think it's the same situation with men, though. I mean, because you think about it, Jimmy. Okay, you're married and your wife's away for a romantic weekend with a gentleman. How would you feel? You wouldn't feel anything? You wouldn't be pocketing any emotions?
I think eventually I could probably work my way through it, but not. A woman, no. You will have some problems when you come back home.
What do you
whether
mean?
You had $1 million or not.
What do you mean you could eventually work your way through it?
You might be a little upset for a couple of days, and like Kevin said, then all of a sudden you got this really nice car. You're like, I might have had women cheat on me before, so I can get over this. But No, not
And you're
a woman,
saying women
no.
in general can't do that? You know, I beg to differ.
Oh, I'm with Cassandra.
I beg to
feel
differ.
like if the woman went out and the husband, and like I said, what if he ain't never had nobody cheat on him before?
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, it would hurt. It would hurt, but come on, man. I mean,
It would hurt for a minute. But you know what? My thing is, I feel like if my man gonna cheat, I'd much rather he cheat for a week and come back home $1 million richer than to come home just as broke as the way he left.
Sneaking around with somebody. Yeah,
Somebody broke.
Yeah, come on, man.
If you're gonna sneak around with somebody with some cake. That's what I say. But, you know, I'm going to go into some of the responses that we got via Facebook and text, okay? One woman, I don't even see where it is in my notes, but I remember this, y'all. One lady said, absolutely, positively not, because she wouldn't be able to live with herself. And it doesn't matter whether she was married, in a relationship, single, it didn't matter. She would not be able to live with herself because she feel like she's like selling, you know, herself. So that was one response, okay? The other response was, absolutely, yes, I would. For $1 million?
Come on, man. Let's be real.
For $1 million, absolutely, I would. Because this person said, you know what? We all have a price, whether we're willing to admit it or not. And you think about it, though. We all are for sale. We all are for sale.
We already sold.
Yeah.
You know, even when
sold.
we go
We
on our
sold.
jobs,
We
you know,
sold.
we're selling ourselves. You know, no matter what we're doing, we go out and we put on nice clothes, whatever, nice cars, whatever. We're trying to sell ourselves to something or somebody. You know, so we're all selling ourselves. So this person said, hey, we all have a price. Absolutely, I absolutely would take this $1 million. Okay, the other individual says, well, since I'm a virgin, I feel like I deserve twice as much, so I want $2 million. So, you know what? And I don't even know how I feel about this. You know what? I think I'm going to stay out of this. Keep myself. I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to stay out of this conversation. But I guess...
Well, hold on.
Next
I
topic.
know her. Got me out there.
You want to put everybody out there but yourself.
But you know what? But you, okay.
No, you gotta respond.
Would I spend a romantic week? But you know what? I would be like Renee. It's like, okay, if I decided to do this, because I'm not going to sit here and lie and say, I ain't selling, I'd be lying. There would have to be certain things put in place. Okay? Yeah, there would have to be some sort of a contract. And yes, definitely condoms would have to play a part in it. Absolutely. Yes. It won't be no other people joining in. You know what I mean? So it would be very clear cut what the expectations are on both ends. Then maybe it's something I may consider if I was single. If I was married, I would have the conversation with my spouse. I would not keep that from them. I would be transparent because you never know. Just like Renee said about the open marriage, she had the conversation with her husband and she was surprised that he sat there and said, hey, you know, I'm all for it. I was waiting for you to say something about it, you know? So, hey, since you brought it up, I'm all for it. So you never know the response that you may get from your spouse. So I do not believe in keeping, I believe in open communication no matter what anyway. Because if it's going to come out, I'd much rather you hear it from me beforehand than to hear it from somebody else afterwards. You see what I'm saying? So I would definitely be open and honest with my spouse because you never know. That spouse may say, hey, $1 million, we can have the house of our dreams. We can live the lives of our dreams. I don't have to work. You know, they may think, hey, gone.
I will pack her bags for her.
Kevin, you would pack her bags for her?
I put the bikini and everything.
I was going to ask you what you would put in that bag.
I put the bikini in there and things of that nature, all that stuff. The black dress.
So you that's pimping your wife.
For $1 million, you can call it what you want it, cuzzo. You can call it what you want to call it. $1 million, yeah, I'm pimping for sure. You can call it what you want to call it. But that's a lot of money.
Okay, so what do we have? We have 2 yeses and 2 nos.
That's a lot of money.
Okay, so 2 out. It is a lot of money.
I mean, yeah, for somebody like me, you know what I mean?
For somebody like me, too.
Yeah, you know.
You know, that is a lot of money. And it's definitely a life changer. It can definitely change your quality of life.
Change your life, your wife's life, you know your spouse's wife, you know your spouse's life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So much money, I can't even think about it.
Can't think straight, talk straight.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because it'll make a big difference.
Yes.
That as soon as you get that money, your life automatically
changes.
Is different now.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You might be walking, but you can get you some new shoes the
Absolutely.
first store you walk in.
Yeah. And don't care about the price, y'all.
That's right, And then you walk by the car store, you be like, well, give me one of those.
Hey, I'd be like, give me one of those and give me one of those.
You drive by the house and you say,
hey, absolutely. So our two people who said no. Okay, we're gonna throw in Jimmy. What if the woman looked like, let's see, Halle Berry or Vanessa L. Williams? To see who else are some gorgeous women? I don't know. What if the woman was gorgeous?
Gabrielle Jr.
Yeah, Jimmy. So what if the woman looked like that?
Okay, you say and I'm married.
Okay, we'll split it up. Let's split it up. Let's do the easy part first. Okay, because you said if you were single, did you say yes or no? What did you say if you were single?
Yeah.
I said if I was single, I would do it.
Okay, so we're talking married then. You're married, and the woman looked like that. Would that make a difference in your decision?
No, I think I would still pass up on it.
Oh, he's standing his ground.
Yeah.
You passing up on Halle Berry, Vanessa Williams. Kevin is like, oh my goodness.
The thought of it will make it a little difficult, but I still wouldn't want to put a price on my marriage.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, same thing with you, Tiara. Idris Elba, Michael Ealy. I don't know who else. Who else out here?
Morris Chestnut, Shamar Moore. They are gorgeous. They are absolutely gorgeous. So for the married, my answer is still no.
Well, we have to take consideration though. We have to throw this out here though. Tiara is newly married. You've been married for what, 5 months now?
5 months.
Okay, so we have to take that into consideration. She's still in the honeymoon stage. Let's ask her in 5 years.
Yeah, little disclaimer. I'm always pro-marriage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
We ask her again next year.
Yeah. Oh, you give it a year. At least I'm giving it 5 years, Tiara.
Because $1 million.
If I was single and Idris Elba, what's that accent? Ask me.
Oh, yeah, that accent.
See, now you're making it seem like I'm throwing all my morals out the window. I'm like, yes!
Welcome to the Shop Talk with Cassandra Renee show. That's what we do around here, okay? In case you didn't know that, that's exactly what we do. So, welcome to the club. Welcome to the team.
But you aren't throwing your morals out the window, though,
too. I
was all thinking like,
we all got bills.
Be tested. He has to do this. He has to do that. I'm like, we'll figure it out when we get there.
We talk about it on the way on his private jet, sir.
There you go, Tara. There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I hear you.
It's not the money, it's the experience.
Yeah.
It's the experience of being with Idris Elba, Morris Chestnut. It's not like the money. The money will help, and the money will probably be the motivation, but it wouldn't be what I would be most looking forward to.
Okay.
Like, that was, I guess, kind of my thing with just doing it just for the sake of the money, because it's like you said, it's just kind of like pimping myself out. And yes, we work for somebody else, and we're sacrificing the majority of our day working at a job for 8 hours and not being able to fulfill maybe some of the things that we want to do, depending on whether you're doing something that's your passion or not.
Yes.
But I still feel like after I leave work, I don't feel like you said, the one girl said, I just couldn't live with myself doing it. I wouldn't. I don't feel that way when I leave work. I may be annoyed,
yes,
but I don't feel like I can't live with myself.
And Tiara, you mentioned the experience, so that kind of puts another twist to. We weren't supposed to spend this much time on this topic, but
it's called throwing up the good looking.
I know, right through the bone. But you mentioned the experience, though. Okay, so what if, let's just say hypothetically, if you went with it, you talked to your husband about it, and he was like, hey, yeah, that'll pay off the house, the cars, all of our college education will be paid for. I'm just hypothetical. I know your husband, okay?
You already know
this is totally hypothetical.
I can see him now packing her bags, getting us.
He would be packing her bags, but he wouldn't be packing her bags to go away for that week. pack up bags and go away forever. But okay, so you brought up the word. You brought up the word experience. Okay, so what if just hypothetically you talk to your husband about it? He's like, hey, you know what? We'll pay off the house, all of our student loans, and our daughter Cam. You don't have to worry about anything. It'll take care of all of our financial problems. I can deal with it. Go ahead, do it. Okay. So what if you do it and the experience is just mind blowing, like something you've never experienced in your entire life?
And then you gotta go back home.
Then you got to go back home. Because that's when you realize maybe some little areas where your husband may be a little deficient.
And see, that's what I'm saying. So for me, it's like that's the other door that you opened up. And I don't think, like, when we were talking about making that decision, I don't think anybody else explored that. It's like, yeah, you were saying, like, okay, well, as long as your spouse was okay with it or whatever. But it's like, you're not looking at that aspect of how it will affect you. It's like, yeah, you'll have that money, but at the end of the day, like say you spent the entire week with this person, you can't just erase a week, even a night. Like you can't erase all of that. So it's like now you're talking about, oh well, how would I respond? Like because then you looking at this person like, dang, I wish I was with so and so. And who's to say that Oh. You see this? See, this is what I'm talking about with my husband. He said that like, don't be talking about me. Ain't nobody talking about me.
You know what? He's not even supposed to be listening. Tell him to leave the room. Leave the room.
Look, tell me you working.
She on her job. This is all hypothetical. He messing everything up.
Why my answer is the way why it is. That's why.
But you know what? Since he wants to be involved, tell him to come on the phone.
He moseyed on downstairs.
Since he want to be so involved. But Tiara, yeah, you brought up a good point, because a lot of times we, especially when you're intimate with someone, you never know, because remember we had the soulmate specialist, David Pulley, on. He says, whenever two people are sexual, there's an exchange of matter.
Part of yourself, yeah.
Yeah, so you're exchanging some of your soul matter, so what would happen if you spent this romantic week with this person and you come back and you may be slightly a different person?
Yeah, because it's like, just think about it. Okay, so, you're with your spouse, you have these experiences, you love them, you've gone through all this thing, you may have a family together, then you go away for a week, and it's like a vacation. You don't ever have to look at the bill. You don't have to worry about how we pay for this. Oh, maybe we can't do this activity, or maybe we can. And it's just like everything that you ever imagined. And granted, it is just for a week, and that's not indicative of how the entire life will be, but you can't tell your mind and your heart that. Because then you're coming back to your regular life, your regular things that
but
you
it won't
deal
be
with.
regular. It won't be regular. You'll be a $1 million richer, baby.
You'll be $1 million richer, but like you said, your spouse will be feeling some type of way. Because, there might be a situation where I'm not spending that man's money.
Right.
You hear Kevin? Kevin said, buy him a boat. He'll be all right.
We go fishing. I go fishing with him. He be straight.
Yeah, buy your husband a steakhouse and he'll be happy. We know how he is about his steaks.
I was about to say, that's the key.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. People get upset, but you get that money started flowing. People get happy real soon. I mean, really.
And could you think about even with our everyday lives? I mean, when you look at the statistics of the number of people in marriages who one or the other has stepped out on the other, and then you kind of break it down even more where one or the other knows about it at the time that it's going on or even afterwards. But somehow they work through it, and sometimes it strengthens the marriage and the communication and everything else, but they get past it. You think about this situation, they may get past it.
Right, but even if the spouse gets past it, like the thing that we're not considering is the person who's in the act. Let's say if, your spouse forgave you and got past it or whatever, but let's say a part of you is still wants to be with that person or, in a extreme situation is still in love with that other person. So now you have to suck up your feelings because you want to be with somebody else, but your mind is telling you need to be here with your spouse, especially since your spouse forgave you. It's opening up Pandora's box.
But you think about it, though, like with some, I don't know about you, but like with me, I've had jobs that I absolutely loved, where they were like a big part of my life. I loved what I was doing, but for one reason or another, I had to leave. You know, my heart was still there. I loved the position that I had. I loved the people, but I had to leave. You know, so it's the same type of situation. You just have to do what you have to do to realize, you know what, that's done, that's over with. That's where my heart was, but I have to move on. So in life, sometimes we have to leave things and people that we love, but you just have to have some sort of coping mechanism where you can move on.
I think that it kind of, especially like, because a job is like, and I agree, because a job you spend most of your life with, but it's like, when you think about romantically, like you know, sharing experiences with, building a life with, and having to walk away from that because like I said, you're
not building a life with that billionaire. You just building a week.
You just going there getting paid and come on back home.
Right,
it's a job.
Again, I just feel, I don't know, and maybe it's because I'm an emotional being. It's just like I feel like, you know.
You think about Mars Chestnut.
That's what you're thinking about.
Yeah, that's
sweet, smooth chocolate. Yeah, that's what it is.
See, my girl can look like Red Fox. I still go with her. I don't care. I want the money.
Oh, you don't care what she look like?
Long as she's a she, and she's a human and not a gorilla. I don't care. Now, $1 million, she can look like, I don't care.
Look, even if she was a gorilla, he kind of give it a second thought. Just put a wig on her.
I definitely have to agree with Kevin on that. If I was single, I don't care what she looked like. Because you give me $1 million, you will look like Holly Berry.
In your eyes.
Definitely.
Oh, my gosh. Y'all, you know what? We can talk about this a whole hour, but we have some other things that we need to talk about. But I'd like to let our listeners know that you are listening to a Shop Talk with Cassandra Renee. We air live from this station every Saturday morning from 9 until 10 a.m. If you'd like to visit our website, it is talkwithcassandra.com. That is talkwithcassandra.com. Please feel free to send me, Cassandra, an email at info@talkwithcassandra.com. You know, we get a lot of feedback from our listeners. So if you have suggestions in terms of topics for us, please send an email, info@talkwithcassandra.com. Please, if you are on Facebook, like our Facebook fan page, which is Shop Talk with Cassandra Renee. The next topic I think I'd like to go into, I don't know if you all read about how Playboy no longer is going to have nude layouts. They say they are moving to the PG-13 content because they're competing with the content on the internet. The consumers are changing. Nudity was sinking its web and magazine business. So, Kevin, how do you feel about that? Playboy no longer spread out nudes.
Well, we must accept the fact that the internet has just changed life totally.
Absolutely.
Everybody has had to make some sort of adjustments.
Yes.
You know, and Playboy without being nude pictures in there is kind of hard for me to perceive. Because when you originally you look for Playboy, you look for some nudity in there.
You go right to that centerfold.
Right, and for it to change their format like that, it's kind of hard to perceive what their focus would be on. But I can understand them having a meeting and sitting around thinking, like, we got to do something. This internet is really killing our business.
Yes.
I just feel like they just need to change their media because it's like, okay, and I've never purchased a Playboy, but I feel like they have everything has a specific market and niche. And it's like you're marketing to a certain group of people.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, you want to reach the people on the internet or you feel like the internet is killing yourself. Okay, have a Playboy exclusive website where they have to do a monthly membership or something for. But it's like you're doing that and it's like it's literally nudity everywhere on the internet for free.
Yes, it is.
I just feel like it's kind of like you need to evolve your business plan. Because it's kind of like before it was like, oh, it was so sacred, not sacred, but it was so secretive to get a Playboy. And you see the movies where they hide it underneath their bed mattress and the fathers have it in their toolbox in the deep far corner of the basement and stuff like that. It's not like that anymore.
Yes.
You make 3 clicks. You can make 10 clicks. And you'll be on 15 different news sites at one time.
Absolutely.
News videos, pornography, everything. It's just at your fingertips. And I just feel like they just need to, I'm not going to say just let it go. Because, you can't tell somebody that's been making money off of something for so many years to let it go.
It's their brand.
But it's like them making it more PG-13, like now they're killing the niche that they did have that were still purchasing their material because it's not like people are going to be like, oh, well, now they don't have nudity. Let me go out and buy a Playboy, because what's the point?
But, it really depends on how they change their content. Because being a business owner, I've learned that you have to constantly evolve. You have to constantly change. You have to stay abreast of what's new and gravitate towards that, even if that means slightly tweaking your content. And actually, like you mentioned, using other types of media. I think Jet realized that. Jet is no longer in print. It's an electronic magazine
publication
now. Yeah. So I think a lot of them.
But that makes sense.
Yeah, because I actually bought the last copy of it. I'm like, okay, this is historical. So a lot of magazines are kind of toying with the idea of going the electronic route. But in doing that, think about it. And it's the same thing with radio. Okay, you think about it. It kind of waters it down a little bit because you think about it gives everyone has that accessibility now.
Yeah.
On any and every level, you have all these electronic magazines. And the same thing with radio. Now people are broadcasting from their homes. They are there is like Periscope and all these other things that people are using, all these different resources where radio isn't what it used to be. I mean, radio used to have a unique status to it, but now you have people broadcasting from any and everywhere from their phones, so it's like this world wide web has opened things up for just any and everybody to just jump in and be whatever they want to be.
And compete with the big dogs. It's watered down the content and it's not as authentic as it used to be.
Well, it's the same thing like with recording music and making movies and stuff like that, where you used to have to physically go to Hollywood or to a recording studio or a studio to make music, but now you could do it like I do in the comforts of your living room, and make music that is quality. That is, the quality is just as equal as the studio.
Absolutely.
It has changed everything except for driving so far. We still have to get in the car and physically put our hands on the steering wheel and our feet on the pedal and drive. But that's pretty much the only thing that we do on a normal, regular day basis.
But that's changing, right? Because they have these cars that are parking themselves and doing all kind of things, So I don't know. In the near future, our cars, we're just going to sit back with our arms folded, and our cars will be driving themselves, probably better than we were doing it anyway.
I see this. I look at this from a different angle.
Okay.
I really do not think that it's a smart business move on Playboy to go in this particular direction.
Okay.
Because what will happen? Everybody who purchased Playboy purchased it for the nude pictures. Now, if they took the nudes out, then it just become a regular magazine that's on the shelf.
Yes.
Yep.
So with that, they lose their audience. One issue that I always had with Playboy was you don't see too many sisters in the magazine. So they pretty much all their nudes was of the Caucasian women. Every once in a while, you would get a sister. So what they need to do is kind of market a different audience, but still do it in print.
Or you know what? We need to go off on offline, Jimmy, and maybe we should come up with an African American Playboy magazine.
They have one.
Don't tell nobody.
They have one called Players.
Players? Okay.
That's African American.
But you don't hear about that as much. We need to talk to them. Maybe we need
Players.
Maybe we need to have a conversation with them like offline. Because that is a very good point. But then again, you have to consider what the target is. With any business that you have a particular target audience. Right. So maybe African Americans aren't the target. I mean, we may go ahead and we may consume it, but maybe we aren't the target.
But see, that's what you have to do. You have to expand your target. I mean, like people now, like with the newspaper, a lot of people now, like myself, I read the newspaper online. But there are people out there who still want to have the newspaper in their hand.
Yes. Yeah. And it's the same thing with me, like reviewing documents, because my supervisor would be like, you can review that document online. Why are you printing everything out? Because I'm old school. I have to see it on paper. I can't see that. It's too much to read on a screen. I have to print it out. And they're like, it defeats the purpose, blah, 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 blah. I'm sorry, print it out. So there is a segment, the population where they go old school because that's what they trust.
They're used to.
Yeah, and they trust it. So, okay, let's move on. Like I mentioned earlier, Lamar Odom, who's a basketball player who's married to Khloe Kardashian, he actually allegedly paid $75,000 to a Nevada brothel called the Love Ranch. He spent time there because he just wanted some time. I can't even say alone because he had 2 women there with him, so he wasn't alone. But he just wanted some time away to kind of chill. And allegedly, he was consuming cocaine and an herbal version of Viagra, which caused him to become very, very ill. But last I read is apparently he did not go any time without losing oxygen, and so he is definitely on the mend. And again, our thoughts and prayers go out to them. So, Jimmy, how do you feel about that situation, about, what happened with him, and also with Chloe, who is his estranged wife, being given pretty much the authority, since she is still legally married to him, to make this life and death decisions for him? Do you think an estranged spouse should have the power to make life and death decisions in a situation like that?
Yeah, I think so. One problem that happens so often in this particular situation, especially when it comes down to your family, everybody always has something to say. Well, I know they would. I want them to do this. I want them to do that. But when you come down to your husband or wife, usually they're the ones that have the final decision, and they should, because that's most likely who the person that actually know what you want to do, because you would have had that conversation with them.
Okay, but we're talking
so it puts the focus on one person as far as when it comes down to the legal system. It points out one person who is responsible. So I think it's important for it to be a spouse, whether it's estranged or not.
But then you have to wonder, by being an estranged spouse, does that person actually have the best interest of that individual at heart? They're estranged. They're on the way to becoming divorced.
That's when it becomes important to have a will.
Yes.
If you know this person is about to be your ex, that's when you make the adjustment in your will in the event that something like this should happen. Who should be making the decision?
Mm-hmm.
That would be more of an advanced directive.
Yes. You're absolutely right to have directives. I mean, that's something you can do even while you're still with the person, to have directives in place, especially if you have like adult, children or, nieces and nephews that you're close to. Yeah, because there are actually templates online, where you just
go online and you print it out. Mm-hmm. I'm a very, very, very big proponent of advanced directives.
But for real, we don't do that. We don't have wills. We don't have directives in place. We don't do that. We don't stop and think, what if I do become violently ill and I'm estranged from my spouse? That person has full rights to everything.
But even if you weren't estranged, some people are in marriages and they may have different opinions of, okay, what to do if, my spouse suddenly goes into a coma. Mm-hmm. Your spouse may feel like, oh, well, I would want to keep you on life support forever, whereas you'd be like, no, let me go. Mm-hmm. As soon as I lose oxygen, let me go. Again, these are conversations that need to be had, and a lot of people don't even think about those, especially younger people. We don't even think about that type of stuff because you figure you're young and you die when you're old.
You're absolutely right, because even, when you're young, you take all sorts of risks, and you just have that feeling that you're going to live forever. So, okay, that's the excuse there, and I can understand that because I've been there. But as we get older, we realize that, we are going to die one day, and then some things do happen, so being older and more mature, and I'm including myself in this, because we actually had individuals on the show with us who talked about advanced directives and that sort of thing. And I'm going to admit, I still haven't done anything about it. So as we get older, we really, I don't lie on my show. I do not lie on my show. I ain't done nothing. I don't have a will. I don't have advanced directives, but I did tell my daughters, I'm like, y'all, I want to live. But if it's a situation where the quality of life would be at
severely
risk,
impacted,
then no, because I don't want to just be alive and can't talk, can't move, can't, breathe, you don't know who people are. And you know what I mean?
I feel like it extends out the grieving process too. I feel like if I am, let's say if, God forbid, you go out, get into an accident, you're on life support, after a while, I feel like your family can never close that chapter in their life because every day they're holding out hope that you're going to wake up and somehow miraculously, recover. And in some cases, people do. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that, everybody's situation is different. You know, like you said, you start losing oxygen to the brain, and you know you're on a feeding tube, you're using a ventilator to breathe. Like all of these things, do you really is that what you want? Like if you imagine, like for me, the image that I would have in my mind is my child and my husband coming into a room and there's tubes literally flying out of my body.
Yes.
Is that how I want them to remember me?
Yes.
Is that how I want them to see? No, it's not.
And then you think about
that's
too.
the best that I can get.
Because we talked about last week, the caregivers catch it.
Mm-hmm.
The caregivers catch it. Would you want your spouse? Would you want your children spending years of their lives taking care of you? You know, that's taking time away from their lives. It's physically draining. It's emotionally draining.
Financially too.
Oh, definitely financially draining. Excellent, Kevin. You know, so yeah. So if you don't do it for yourself, think about your loved ones, because chances are they're going to try to hold on to you as long as they possibly can.
Yep.
But if you have directives in place, but if you have it in place, then they don't have to deal with the guilt, because that's a guilt thing too. If you make the decision to pull the plug on a loved one, you deal with that guilt. You deal, but not even. It's not even a matter of other people forgiving you. It's you forgiving yourself. You know, you struggle with forgiving yourself when you make the decision to pull the plug on a loved one. This way, you're taking it out of their hands.
Bobby Christina.
Yeah.
What did you say?
I said we could use the same, because I know we were talking about Lamar Odom and estranged mother. Estranged spouse. But you could use the same with estranged family members, because to my understanding, it wasn't like Bobby Christina was that close to her father, but because he was that was her father, and there was no one else to make those types of decisions on her behalf, he had to do that. I mean, it could be the same way. It could be the same way. It's like, do you want somebody that you don't deal with on a day-to-day basis and know every single thing about your life and understand what your feelings are towards life and things like that? Do you want them making decisions on your behalf?
You're listening,
and I think that the answer would have to be no for me.
I'm sorry, Tiara. You're listening to Shop Talk with Cassandra Renee. All right, go ahead, Tiara.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said that the answer would have to be no for me. I don't want somebody that knows nothing about me or doesn't know me intimately to make those decisions on my behalf. And I feel like if that's a strange wife, or if that's a parent that, you don't deal with that often, and now they're having I just feel like
so you disagree. You disagree with Jimmy. You wouldn't want an estranged husband making life and death decisions for you.
If we aren't if we weren't in constant communication, if it wasn't an amicable split and we weren't still friends, and I still felt like, okay, they knew me, and it depends on how long we've been married. And, if you're talking about somebody that I've been married to for 25 years and we were good friends, but we just realized that this isn't what we want anymore, then no, I wouldn't mind them making the decision. But somebody that I've been married to for a hot minute, and, it was a horrible split, I don't want them making no daggone decisions on my behalf.
Okay. All right. So time is tick-tocking away, and I'd really like to get this in. There was the Democratic debate this week. Who watched it besides me?
I watched it.
Tiara, you are now on radio.
Okay, and I'm not.
You should be watching the news. You should be listening to the radio.
The way that my studying is set up, Saturdays are my only time to myself. But I did catch part of it.
Because they reran it last night. Okay, you couldn't watch.
That's what I caught part of it. Yep.
Okay, because it was awesome. I mean, because there was Sanders, who's a representative from Vermont. Of course, there was Hillary Clinton, our very own Martin O'Malley, and there was Senator Webb and a gentleman named Chaffee. I mean, I guess Chaffee. That man, he was so forgettable. It was crazy. He was so forgettable. So, Jimmy, would you give me pretty much a synopsis of what you thought of the debate?
I thought it was pretty good. I thought Hillary Clinton did a fantastic job. Because out of the group, she was the one, to me, that appeared most presidential. And also you can see, her extensive knowledge. Especially, one thing that we deal with so often is foreign affairs.
Yes.
And so you can very easily, I think one thing that really gets on my nerves when they want to talk about Benghazi and hold that against her. But you have to remember, only thing they're doing is playing Monday morning quarterback.
Yes.
You can always turn around and say, well, I would have did this, I would have did that. Even when it came down to them talking about, the whole weapons of mass destruction, and I wouldn't have done this, I wouldn't have done that. The thing is, they are making a decision based on information that was given to them.
Yes.
And that's all they can do. So, yeah, they went over there and didn't find anything. Okay, we made a mistake. We pretty much have to go with that. And so with that, you can see her trying to, in some ways, without giving up too much information, explain what was going on. So it really showed her extensive knowledge in foreign affairs, which is something that's very important if you're president.
You know what I have to say about, I've been very vocal about this. I've always been a Hillary Clinton fan. Anyway, I voted for her the first time around because she's a very strong, confident person. And they had her positioned in the right place. She was right smack in the middle. She was so cool and confident, yet she was approachable. You know what I mean? She wasn't stern and firm or whatever. She was a nice mix. I really enjoyed the debate. And what I loved was Sanders' opening. I loved his opening because he was saying all the right things. All before the debate, I didn't even know who Sanders was. But now he is on my radar screen. I was very, very proud to see O'Malley there. In the very beginning, when he first spoke, he just seemed to sort of like be in a trance. And he just seemed to be a little bit out of it. He just didn't seem to be with it. But I think as the debate went on, he warmed up and he kind of got his groove and he did better. But I still feel that Hillary and Sanders were the best performers of the evening. We'll see how future debates go. But to me, I think those two, as I think Jimmy mentioned, they seem to be the most presidential to me. I know there are a lot of individuals that are concerned about Sanders and they consider him to be a socialist and they're concerned about his socialist views. But I think that's something that we're going to hear more about as time goes on, because, when you look at how things are now, we definitely need a change. And you look at the billionaires out there, they have all the tax benefits. The middle class, we are shrinking, so something does have to be done. They talked about Wall Street. They talked about the banks and how who's really paying for the bubble bursting. We are paying. The big banks, they've merged. It's like 3 major ones now. They're still making the money. While we paid to bail them out. And one proposal, I think it was Sanders, was saying, hey, you know what? I think the big banks should be paying for our children's student loans for their education. So he actually has a plan in place where monies from these large banks would go and help fund education for our young people, which I am all for free education or low interest loans, which is awesome. Kevin, because you're shaking your head.
Well, I like what you're saying, Cuzzo, but I'm the type of person that I'm not a believer in the politics and things of that nature either. So I don't know. I figured I was going to wait and lay off of politics till Kanye West run for president in 2020.
Okay. Okay. So you know what? A question was posed to the candidates. Okay, I hear you, Kevin. Well, I'm keeping it going. Because you and I are going to talk about that offline. But do Black Lives Matter? And I thought this was a really good question that they posed to the candidates. And they went to Sanders first. And Sanders says, yes, Black Lives Matter, without any hesitation or rhetoric or anything like that. He said Black Lives Matter because you look at what happened with Sandra Bland. Kids getting shot. He feels that racism needs to be combated. We need to reform our justice system. He says, so yes, Black Lives Matter. O'Malley, a little bit softer about it. He says, yeah, Black Lives Matter, because you look at where he's coming from. He's coming from Baltimore City. He was the mayor, wasn't he, of Baltimore City? He was our governor. So he's like, he better say Black Lives Matter. And he says the Black Lives Matter movement is legitimate. Because you're looking at how we're burying our young black men. If we were burying our young white men at the same rate, what would be happening? With all that's going on, would it be going on? Would it have even gone this far? So I appreciate the fact that he brought that up and brought that comparison. Hillary Clinton, when she was asking, she says she's all about reforming the criminal justice system. She feels that there should be policies and things in place. She believes in the early childhood education is important. Housing is important. Definitely a new deal for people of color. Webb came back and he says every life matters. So it's just kind of interesting to hear the differences, from the different politicians. But 3 out of the 5, I believe, said, yes, Black Lives Matter. Jimmy, what did you think about? Did you see that part?
Yeah, I saw, I was really, truly trying to understand the question itself. Mm-hmm. Because to me, the question was kind of somewhat tricky.
Okay.
Because if I was to ask that question, I would see it a little bit different. Somebody asked me, "Does Black Lives Matter?" Now, I don't think about what's going on right now in our society, and it seems like to me the view that people have, it doesn't. That's why so many of us are being killed. So they're just dismissing us as being important. Mm-hmm. So we should. The thing is, you want us to matter.
Yes.
That way they will value our life. Yeah. That's how I kind of saw the question.
Because I actually saw a tape where they were interviewing O'Malley, and O'Malley was like, yeah, Black Lives Matter, all lives matters, white lives matter. He actually
that's
came
what I was
under
thinking about.
Criticism for that, and then he turned around and issued an apology. And it's so funny because Donald Trump called him weak because he offered an apology for that. It's so funny, the name calling that has begun too, because I'm like, okay, he's calling him a weak wimp, or he had a few choice names for O'Malley, which is ridiculous. And it's so funny because O'Malley got him back because he called him some kind of crazy name. So it's like, why do we even have to go back and forth with all this name calling in politics? Mm-hmm. Because I did not watch the Republican debate, but my understanding that was ugly. That was uglier than ugly. So I'm going to make sure I actually tune into the next debates. So Kevin, Jimmy, did you see the part where they were talking about the Patriot Act, which is a bone of contention for a lot of people?
Oh no, actually I didn't see that part of it. I saw like maybe the first hour of it I watched. Mm-hmm.
Because they actually discussed the Patriot Act, which is interesting because a lot of us feel that, our privacy is being compromised because of this Patriot Act. And Sanders actually voted against the Patriot Act, because he's like, we are constantly under surveillance. Our phone calls, our emails, our privacy is being compromised because of this Patriot Act. But I think Clinton, O'Malley, Chaffee, and Webb, they're all for the Patriot Act. Kevin, for or against the Patriot Act?
I'm against it.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think that we are too much being surveilled. We're just under too much surveillance, and the Patriot Act just take away our freedoms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely a lot of our privacy is being compromised in the name of the Patriot Act. Yeah. Tiara, briefly, for or against the Patriot Act?
I am...
Okay, I'll let you think about it.
I'm going to say four. I'm going to say four.
For the Patriot Act. Jimmy, for or against the Patriot Act?
I would definitely be for it.
For the Patriot Act, that figures because you're very military-like. So we're going to continue this conversation as time goes on because I was looking at what O'Malley called Trump. He called him the barking carnival.
I agree with him. I agree with him 100%. Donald Trump is nothing but a show.
Yes, starting with that hair. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And he is a carnival, and he barks a lot. So you know what? When I heard him say that, I was like, you know what, O'Malley, you were on that. Oh, boy.
You asked about the Patriot Act.
Yes, briefly.
I honestly believe that the Patriot Act is what takes America out of us being Americans. Mm-hmm. We always had a pride of being Americans because we felt like we were like in the land of the free and the home of the brave, and we had the freedom of speech and things of that nature. But the Patriot Act sort of cuts all that out. It's like we can't assemble, we can't protest, and things of that nature.
And I think it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse as time goes on.
A little bit. They're going to get a little bit more.
Yeah, and then they use the element of fear, because we were talking about that briefly last week. It scares us to death. So, of course, we're going to say, okay, yeah, do it, because we're scared, bring it on. Y'all, this has been an interesting conversation. As always, thank you all so much for contributing. And to our listeners, thank you so much for following us and listening to us. And again, if you have suggestions in terms of topics, let us know. As time goes on, we are going to be bringing a lot of guests on board, and we're going to be talking more about our organization, Crown. So stay tuned. Again, the website is talkwithcassandra.com. Our email address is info@talkwithcassandra.com. So until next Saturday at 9 a.m., bye-bye.